Hello. Welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I am Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets. Behind the camera, I've got Pete.
Hey.
Today we are going to be diving into our new folder on our website that is called Literacy Connections and looking at a book and connecting it to some projects.
Cool.
But before we do that, if you have not followed us on our social media channels yet, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Also, the guide and all of the projects that you see today you can find at browndoggadgets.com. And if you have any questions while we're streaming, we would love to chat with you. Otherwise, you are also welcome to email us at help@browndoggadgets.com.
Yeah.
All right, so when I first started working here about 1.5 years ago, we talked about being able to connect some of our projects to read-alouds, because in the classroom, it's always really helpful to be able to have a read-aloud before starting a topic. So we went on the hunt of trying to find good read-aloud books that we could connect to like paper circuits and those kinds of things. And we have started what we're calling Literacy Connections. So right now I believe we have 6 books that we're connecting to different projects. And today our focus is going to be on Oscar and the Bird.
Right.
This was actually the first one I found. So we'll switch to the overhead cam. So the book itself, I'm not going to read through the whole thing. It is a great book. You can also find little excerpts of it online. But it is a book about electricity. And it is truly a read-aloud, which is great because a lot of the books that we were finding at first were very content-heavy and were nonfiction, which is fine, but not something you would sit and read the whole thing to a class. But this is definitely one where you can read this whole thing to the class before actually doing any of the projects. So, and the projects I actually had Andy create last year are directly correlated to the book, which is kind of cool. So Oscar is the little cat, and then we've got the bird. And Oscar is very curious about what's going on with the windshield wipers of the tractor. The bird's kind of teaching him, about electricity, where it comes from, batteries, all of that. He talks about switches, which is really important when we're talking about our different projects. I love the demonstration of the switch as well, which I think is really helpful. It just goes through a lot of different information about electricity, and then in the back, it does give you just some facts as well, which is great. But like I said, it's a nice read aloud to be able to start that conversation about circuitry and electricity. So this leads really well into doing some paper circuits projects. So the first one that Andy created was a cat card. So we've got this cute card. On the inside, you can see we've got the whole circuit going on here, but there is a gap in the circuit. We wanted to kind of push that switch discussion from the book. And then Andy even took a quote. He said, when you press the switch on, the wires join up and the electricity can cross the gap. That's what Bird told Oscar. So when we press here, it lights up and it bridges that gap. So the cat card is a really simple one to be able to connect to the book. We do have it in a colorable version as well as the colored version. So a couple options for you. Then we have a bird, and this is a layered paper circuit project, and we're going to actually put this one together today. This is also printable in color, and I've got it all cut out in color, so you'll see that. You can also use this as a template and create it out of different materials as well. So I'm making it out of a heavier cardstock, but you could do it with craft foam. You could do it with felt, like a stiffer felt. There's lots of options you could do with that. And then the last one is a tractor. So the tractor has headlights that light up. It's a really simple circuit on the inside. The difficulty with this one is definitely the building of the tractor, not necessarily the circuit, because that is a super simple circuit. So just a little bit more difficulty with this. And then there is also a black and white one as well for the tractor. So you can have them color in the tractor as well. All right, so those are the 3 options that we have on our website that could directly connect to Oscar and the Bird. So we're gonna build the bird. All right, so I've cut out the pieces. And the circuit on this is fairly simple. We've got the eye up here, and I'm going to take a safety pin. Oh, Pete, you'll appreciate this. And anyone who was watching when I did not have a safety pin the one day.
Yeah.
My mom came over the other day, and she had a tub about this big. It was flat, but about this big, full of big safety pins. And she goes, "Do you need these?"
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I don't. Why? She's like, "Well, I know you needed a safety pin on your live stream the other day because you didn't have one." I was like, "Oh, Mom, you watched me."
Nice.
I told her she could take them home. Oh, thanks.
I don't know.
All right, so we're going to use our safety pin to poke holes where the LED is going to go. That way we can get through this cardstock a little bit easier. If I try to just poke through with the LEDs, most likely I'm going to bend and break the LED legs, and that's not helpful. And then I'll use a blue one. Now, my diagram is labeled here, so I need to make sure that the positive LED leg goes through the positive hole. When I'm looking at my LED, the longer leg is positive and the shorter leg is negative. So we'll put that through there. And we'll bend it down to match the diagram on the back. And we're going to use Maker tape to build our circuit. So Maker tape is a nylon conductive tape. It is the far superior cousin to copper foil tape. This is actually one that I had already cut, but there's some on a roll here. It is way better than copper foil tape. It is so much easier to use. It doesn't rip on you. It can be overlapped and still conduct electricity. It's just really great stuff. So I'm going to put it right over my leg here. And I'm just going to kind of bend it and go down here this way. And this piece was already cut from the wind wand yesterday, but I still had some left, and it just is really easy to work off just a little strip. All right. Then I'm going to take about an inch worth. Not in this story, Mike.
Oscar, I don't know what Oscar Mike is thinking of.
I don't know.
Maybe Oscar the Grouch. I don't know.
Maybe. All right, so what I did is I took about an inch worth of tape and made a sticky side out tape loop. So I'm going to put that right on top of that pathway right there. And that's where my battery is going to go. So remember, this is the negative pathway, so we want to make sure the negative side of the battery is connected to that. So positive side facing up. He'll tell us though, so I'm not worried.
Right.
And then path D goes to the top of the battery, and then it leads down to the side here and then around to the front. You'll notice that there is a gap in between there. So same idea as before, we want to make sure that we mind the gap. We keep that gap so we can control our circuit. And we'll do the same with E. Bring it around to the front, keeping that gap. There you go.
Well, you're just flying through this build.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Great work.
Thank you.
Great work.
I'm here all week.
I think it deserved crickets.
Oh.
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
But I pressed buttons. I get to decide.
It was great. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the long LED leg. Making sure not to come all the way down because I don't want to bridge that gap. I want to be able to control it. Running my nail along the sides of that LED leg. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to actually just use the top of the tape to bridge that gap to make sure I've got my circuit set up correctly. And I do. Perfect. Now, the wing is what's going to be glued down over the top here. So on the back of the wing is where we're going to put just in one more piece of Maker tape, maybe two, we'll see. think I'm going to use 2 and just make it a little wider. There we go. And I'm going to make sure I know where the wing is going to go so that when I press, it does activate it. Perfect. All right, my circuit is all put together. So now I just need to build the actual project. So I've got some hot glue here. And Andy's got some nice little glue spots
Indeed.
for us.
Okay, we got an answer from Mike. Yes. I
There we
think
go.
Oscar had a friend who was a worm.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was.
Perfect.
Excellent.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
So the first time Andy gave me this project, he didn't have a little picture on it. And I ended up building it completely different than he envisioned, which, I mean, was fine.
Yeah.
It turned out cute, but it was not the way he had planned it. So now he has a little picture on the template, just so you know
Perfect.
how it's supposed to be assembled. You could just not follow it too.
Yeah.
There we go. And that does go on to the pathway a little bit, so you do want to make sure you build it. Well, I guess you could put that on first and then it goes over it. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm only going to glue this wing on at the top here. And I'm going to make sure it actually connects, because right now it doesn't look like it is. Yep, it's a little too low. So what I can do is I can shove a little bit more tape right up here to make sure it actually makes the connection. My hot glue glued too fast for me.
Oh, yeah.
There we
You
go.
know who doesn't like the early bird is the worm.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
There we go. So my bird
There you go.
is complete. So then it's got a nice hidden switch right inside the wing there.
Nice.
And that's a nice fun project to do to go along with our Oscar and the Bird book. Pete, if we can jump over to the website, so I can just kind of show where these are found and all that jazz, that'd be great. So on our main website, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, or the main project website, the very last folder is called Literacy Connections. So that's where all of these are housed. And you'll see that second one, that one in the middle there, is the Oscar and the Bird book. And then I did also put the topic after that. So it's Oscar and the Bird, and the topic is circuitry. So you'll see we've got a bunch of different books there. And then this just goes into a little bit about the book. So step 1 is just an overview of the book with a couple quick pictures. And then those projects are all linked in step 2 that will take you directly to the project that we think goes along with the book. Yeah. Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. If you are looking at this Literacy Connections page and you're like, she's missing a really good book that would go along with a lot of their projects,
Yeah.
please email us at help@browndoggadgets.com and let us know. We would love to hear about them. I do have some other ones that we're going to add eventually, some for coding that I think would go really well with some of our Microbit University projects. So we'll see. Oh, it's adorable. Adorable, though, not adorable. You'll appreciate this. This is
It's
very
Arbor
similar.
Able. This
So-
is Arbor Able.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My daughter had magnets on the fridge, and she had a B and needed a D, or vice versa. So she grabbed a random circular magnet that was sticky on one side and stuck it onto the front so she could flip it over.
There you go.
And she had her other letter. It was great.
There you go.
Awesome. So we will continue to highlight those and check out those other literacy connections as well. But those are there for you if you are interested. We do also include a link to the book I think we threw in the link to the publisher as well as like a link on Amazon. So you could find them there. They're also pretty easily found on YouTube, although they probably don't have the rights to read them. Because I don't. Yeah. But yeah, this is a really great one that is a great way to connect to electricity and circuitry.
Very nice.
Awesome. Tomorrow, we are doing another Microbit University session where we are connecting one NeoPixel and a push button.
Yeah.
And then next week, we got some projects. I think is it the classic Mac, maybe?
Let me look.
I think it's the classic Mac.
No, I have.
No?
Wait, what day?
September 2nd is next week already. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I don't have anything for the 2nd. Why not?
That's fair. It might be something I was messing with. I think we might also be doing the story starters next week.
The 3rd, yeah.
The 3rd is the story starters, maybe?
On the 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Thursday next week will be another Microbit University, and I believe we are doing a NeoPixel and the potentiometer next week. Does that sound right?
Yeah, we'll do that. That's cool.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Awesome.
Can't remember.
If you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, and YouTube. Also, all of the guides as well as like suggested projects and all that can be found at browndoggadgets.com. And then, like I said, if you do have any suggestions of books that you think would be great for the Literacy Connections section of our website, please email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. We would love to try to figure that out and add a new book.
Right.
Awesome. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
Have a good one.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at browndoggadgets. We'll see you next time.